Hi, guys, and welcome to Desi Dutch. This is your host, Amjay, with another special guest today. We are in the United States again, but this time we're in the new epicenter of coronavirus. We're in New York. And we're going to be talking to my childhood friend, Rida Zia, who moved there a couple of years ago. Rida is right now working as a tax accountant.
That's right.
Yeah, see, I
Yes.
just knocked it out of the park. It was, but
That's
yeah, she's
yeah,
working as a tax
absolutely.
accountant. She recently, I think, finished her studies or something. So this conversation is just going to be us catching up and me asking how she's doing right now as New York grips with this virus, and we never know how long it's going to last. So Rida, welcome to Desi Dutch.
Hi there. It's an honor to be here, actually, to be talking to a childhood friend. We haven't caught up generally,
Yeah.
but now this randomly just came up, and he's like, "Would you like to be on live while catching up?" Sure. I'm
Yeah,
not going to promise a lot of filters, but let's see how this
that's
goes.
exactly why I think this is one of the reasons why I'm doing the show is just okay, ask people how they're doing in the lockdown, but also just message people up who I haven't been catching up with a long time and just
Yeah,
have an
work
excuse
on
to
you,
talk,
not
right? So,
me.
yeah.
Basically.
So how's it going?
I was always ready.
Let's not go there. Just say, how is it going with Rida? Tell us how Rida's doing.
So I feel like I'm doing a little bit different than other people because a lot of people are like not working as much and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
for tax season purposes, even though United States, like the like statewide and like federal wise, we did get extensions, but my company personally, they're not considering it so much, so we still have a lot of work to do. So I feel like most of my day is like occupied and working. Like I work like at least like 15 to 18 hours a day. I take like
Yeah.
little breaks in the middle to like keep a sense of, for my own sanity, but I feel like I am working a lot more. So when I see all those videos and like on everything on the social media where people are like, we're bored out of our minds and like they're experimenting, like in like different kind of foods and like other stuff, and I'm like, I really want to trade places, but at the same time, like, I am grateful that I still have a job because I know a lot of my friends that I know like directly, but also I've been catching up with the news and stuff. Like a lot of companies are like downsizing, like majorly, like more than 70% of their, of their staff, they're letting go and stuff like that. So it's pretty scary out there right now.
Easily, I think
So
17
yeah,
million people filed for unemployment claims in the past 3 weeks. So that show in
in
the
the
US
3 weeks, yeah.
alone, yeah. So it shows a lot.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is something I actually want to know. Like before we move
Yeah.
on further, this is something that you talked about working 17, 18 hours. It's a really good topic to start off with, right? Uh, this is
Okay.
exactly the one of the perils of working from home, right? When the lines
Hmm.
get so blurry, you don't know when to stop, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Is this one of the reasons why you're working so much? Can you elaborate a bit more on that? Why is how working from home
Um,
is for you?
I would definitely say working from home is a component why I'm working so many hours, but I feel like if in a general tax season, if I was at work also, I would be working around the same amount of time, like time frame wise. But just because now I'm home, I literally like I wake up in the morning, I, just go make my breakfast. I make a point. So my desk is in my bedroom. And I'm not even joking. I have been hating being in my bedroom. So like any of my breaks that I take, I'm like stepping out. But I feel like working from home, just because like your internet is a little bit slower, like communication is, yes, everybody's online and you can still talk to them, but it's definitely a different environment than having to walk up to somebody's desk and have them show you what they did, or like being in like catch up meetings with people like in person where they could show us graphs and charts and stuff like that. So even though like things like Zoom and like all these like chat rooms have been very helpful, I feel like there has been a lag, and not just lag, but I feel like my productivity is much slower, I feel, than
Yeah.
it would be at work, because I have been taking like coffee breaks and whatnot, right? Like I have been catching up with my colleagues just as happy hour times and stuff. But it's definitely a different motivating factor like when I'm at work. Like I definitely the amount of stuff that I'm getting done in like 2 hours at home would take me without a doubt an hour and change at work for sure.
Oh, okay.
So
You're saying it's the other way around.
it's the other way around for sure. And then there's
I
so many distractions for me, like personally, I would say. If I was maybe by myself, it would be a little different. But
Yeah,
I have my parents at home, I have my younger sister at home. So many distractions.
yeah,
It's so
I
difficult
can
to
I
focus.
bet because for me as you put it really clearly it's the opposite for me because I live
Oh,
alone
really? Okay.
and
Mm,
we have a lot of meetings. Every day we have a meeting to start off the day off with, and then I think twice or thrice a week we work in the Scrum methodology in the Scrum way, right? So Scrum basically means a
mhm.
lot of task based work, and it's a lot of meeting based work, but those meetings are supposed to be really really quick and really on the
Okay.
point. That's why these we don't really feel a difference working at work or working at home, because
At home.
the
Okay.
concept is the same. You just check in, talk to each other about the important stuff, check out, look at your sprint board, look at the task you have to do, complete those tasks, go on the meetings, take give your update. So for me, I've improved my productivity by 2 times at least, because there
Oh,
it will be
really?
just wasting a lot of time. And oh, let's play table tennis. Oh, did you see that? Oh, I have a colleague here next to me who's really big a fashion enthusiast, so he'll show me all these new Nike shoes that come out, or something that
Mm-hmm.
comes out, or the Supreme sale that's going on, and then we will be distracted by that for a while. So that isn't happening here for me. I look at my task list and I go like, I can do this in 2 days, but I have to extend it for 2 weeks because that's how long the sprint has to last. So I take it very,
I
very
see.
slowly, or
Okay.
else if it would be work, I would be done.
Mhm.
I'm not
By
done.
this
Like it
early.
would still take me 2 weeks, but here it's taking me 2 days, 3 days, because I'm just doing it so fast. It's just you get up,
Mhm.
get some water, start churning down some code, work, visualizations, and I'm done. So for me, my productivity has really raised the bar for me personally. But then again, I don't have any
That's very
distractions.
interesting to know, actually, that you're much better off being on your own. I mean, you're still in a team, but like, just because the workspace has changed for you, I feel like that. So I think for me, one of the big reasons was also I didn't have a workspace set up at home to begin
Yeah.
with. So for me, like the first week was like very troublesome. Like I was on the kitchen table and like my parents were looking at the news all the time. I was listening to the news every hour. Like it was insane. I was cooking at the same time. I was making chai for my dad. It was bizarre. And then the following week, my mom started working from home and I just could not work on the same table as her. She's not the kind of coworker I would ever work with. She's the coworker who talks on the phone all the time with clients and stuff like that. So I think my first week was very unproductive because of that. And because so we both would be on the phone, like on the calls at the same time in our meetings, and it will be insane. Like I would have to like talking to my mic, or like she would have to like, step away for a second. It was just a disaster.
All right, for
And then
me,
I was like, I can't, yeah.
but for me, it's also the
I
same.
steal
Like
my
I,
sister's table. I
you,
had to steal my
oh
sister's
yeah, I just
table. Okay. So I stole her desk because I was like, you are fine. You're a college student. You can, sit somewhere else and work. I can't.
yeah, sit on
So
your
I had
bed
to
and
set up my
work.
screen.
Yeah.
She really wants me sitting on her bed. I feel bad,
No, but like I don't understand what you mean. But I also had a makeshift workspace. I'm working on my dinner table,
okay.
right? I
Okay,
don't
that's
have
good.
anything else. I'm working on my
You see,
dinner table, but
nobody's sharing it with you, right? So like it's better that way. Like I would be okay if my
exactly.
mom wasn't sharing it with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand what you mean. Like as you said, like for me, what I've realized from working from home is the fact that
Mhm.
there's so many meetings and calls that you can cut down of, right? Because we work in
Yeah, true.
Scrum, we have to meet in meetings, but all of those have to meetings are just like really really fast, no distractions,
Quick
no
catch ups.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick. Other than that, most meetings are just stupid. Like we don't even call each other, to be honest. What we do is like if I work, I chat with them. I go like, "Hey, can you help me out with this?" Because I work in a software development team, right? So I
So I
can.
think maybe that's why also you're very
Mm,
like like virtual a
yeah,
lot
and
of the
they're really
time
comfortable.
already.
They're very
Yeah.
comfortable with slacking each other, or there's sometimes they
Uh-huh.
do call, and when they call, what they do is like they call and be like, "Can I take control of your screen?" I go like, "Hey, go ahead," and then they just do the job right in front of you while they're controlling your
Uh-huh.
screen, and they go like,
You
"Okay,
can see
bye,
it.
we're done." So
Yeah,
no
I feel like
distraction whatsoever.
that's true. The screen share part, I'm not even joking. I feel like we did use it at work in general. Like some of my associates would ask me, okay, so how did you do this? And I'll be like, okay, let me share your screen and let me like show you how to do it. But I feel like now that I'm on the other end of it and we're at home and I'm asking my manager, okay, I can't find this one thing in the return, whatever, right? And he's like, okay, let me see. That is so efficient. It is like a game changer, not even lying. Like I feel like I didn't use it. I wasn't on the receiving end of it until I started working from home, and
Yeah.
it really render. So like Teams is the thing that our firm uses, and it's been so much fun. Even like little things that have been making my day, like finding out how to freaking use a virtual background, and I was like, this is so interesting. This is the most fascinating thing that has happened
Oh
to me in my
yeah.
life. I am so impressed.
Yeah, I actually, yeah, this is a lot of people are really getting used to these kind of remote working tools. Like that's why we use Slack. Slack is amazing. It's I don't
Yeah,
think
we use that somewhere.
you cannot control the PC from Slack. That's something else
Uh-huh.
you need. But with Slack, there's this beautiful concept of a highlighter. So it's really fun. My colleagues just tell me where to go. It's like I don't know which part of code to edit. I don't get it. They just suddenly you see a circle on your screen and they
Highlighter.
go like, "This part, you idiot. This part is what I'm saying." So it's like someone is drawing on your screen. There's a lot of fun.
That's
So
interesting.
yeah, this way it'll be easier to understand. But yeah, so work is going well. That's what I'm getting
Yes,
from you. The lines are a bit blurry, but I don't think that's because you're saying because you're working from home. It's just because that's tax season for you.
I think so.
And
I definitely think
but
it's
but
the tax
really
season.
think, would you be really at work in your office in a
Mhm.
fixed location for 15 hours? Have you done that before?
Okay, So the thing is, I feel like my productivity, you know how it comes in like clutters. So it's like
Yes.
I can work like at one spot like a good like 3-4 hours, like super productive. Then I'm not even joking, we literally, like, some of our associates, so we all started together, so it's kind of like, we all started together, we kind of taught each other things type of thing. A lot of us started as interns and became associates together. So it's like a thing, like after a point where I know I'm not going to be productive anymore, so we all tell each other beforehand, okay, an hour on the dot, we're going for a coffee run. So we all take a break at the same time, like around
Yeah.
15-20 minutes, and we'll
Yeah.
walk together to the park. We'll grab coffee, we'll have coffee, and we'll come back. And then I feel like we're again productive for like a set amount of time. And then
Yeah.
we'll go have lunch together. Like, I feel like, so in that way, I did leave work at like 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning on like most days during tax season.
Yeah.
So with like, I feel like in public accounting, that's like a very common trend in like around audit time, year-end close, or tax season in general, that you work pretty long hours. I mean, it's not like you're obviously not at your desk for 15 hours, but like
Yeah.
you're definitely working through that span of time.
Yeah, it's actually a big difference because if you take how the work life balance is in the US, in the tech
Mm-hmm.
industry is what I'm following.
Yes.
The financial industry, you can give some examples about. It's the
Yeah.
same as in Pakistan. I remember in Pakistan I would be working longer, but here it's very different. Here it's really chill. Here they're like, you know what, you get paid to do what you work. You can
Mm-hmm.
be as productive and as smart and as extra as you want, but it's for a fixed amount of time. If you're staying over, we believe
That's
you're
funny,
in.
yeah.
They're saying we believe you're inefficient. If you cannot get
Oh,
your job
really?
done in 9 hours or 8 hours, that
Mm-hmm.
means you're doing something wrong, because 8 hours is ample amount of time for you to do your work. That's the mentality here, and it's just completely different
Interesting.
from what you generally
See,
see with.
I think that's like a balance. See, in your kind of line of work, I feel like that's the kind of consistent work throughout the year then, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
With tax season, it's more seasonal. So like, even though I'm working like a lot of hours now, like summers for me are going to be, well, we're supposed to be
Yeah,
really nice for me because we were supposed to get summer Friday. So like every other Friday, I would not be going to work. And the Fridays that I would be going to work, I'll be getting done at like 12 o'clock. So
yeah,
like,
exactly.
we balance out. So our total amount of hours worked in a year might end up being the
The
same.
same.
But
Yeah,
it's just, they're all cluttered in a way that, like during tax season time, like I think around February to like May would be like super intense.
yeah,
And then the middle months are going to be busy, like a normal, like an 8 hour day for like, like decent amount of time. But then starting then again back like end of August, I would say, till like December or November, not December even, till
yeah,
November would be again a clutter of like a lot of hours.
yeah,
So it kind of like, it goes in waves. It's definitely seasonal. It's not like
yeah,
we
yeah.
can't work like this all year round.
I understand.
But
I think it's different.
yeah.
Yeah, but even like the finance team in my company, they also
Mm-hmm.
sometimes go crazy after every month or after every
Yeah, the
three
month
months,
end close.
because the
Mm-hmm.
month end closing and in the 3 month end,
Quarter,
the
yeah.
yeah, the quarterly, you can say, the reports come out because it's a public company, so they all go
Mm-hmm.
crazy for all the
Yeah.
accruals they have to do, the deductions they have to do. Because I remember that, because in Pakistan also my boss was a chartered accountant, but I was in market
Okay.
research. Even though I was in market research, he was a market research manager. His background was chartered accountancy. Our marketing manager was a chartered
Interesting.
accountant. Our VP of the business was a chartered accountant. The CEO of the company was a chartered accountant.
It all comes back down to accounting. Okay.
Oh my
Once you
God.
nail that, you can like,
Oh,
do
and
your
you
way
have
into
no idea.
other
It was all accountant. It was all accountancy. And they were like, why is this number here? Why is this number there? I'm like, it's market research. Market research is 80-20, 20% is always ambiguous. You don't know the whole market. They're like, no, this number was 66 tons last month. It has to be 66 tons this month. What changed? And I'm like, you're not accountants here. You need to understand it's market
Be a little
research.
bit less like, it can't be that strict with these things.
No,
Absolutely.
yeah, no, but with accountants, one number, 1 rupee cannot be here or there. You need to know a GL,
Oh,
you need to do this. I
you have no
meet so
idea.
many terms of accountancy terms that I learned back in Pakistan because my boss was a chartered accountant. And by the way, he got promoted to supply chain now. So he started off
All
as
right.
an accountant, then he be promoted to
To marketing
market
and
research
now
manager.
supply chain.
Then he now is in the supply chain,
That
and
is
he's still a
insane.
chartered accountant. No other qualifications, just a chartered accountant. It's just
That's
experience.
interesting. I feel like that goes a long way with a lot of things when people say that you learn on the job. That you can be educated in anything, but you like a lot of the things that you learn. Like I did do my undergrad in accounting, but I feel like the tax part of things that I'm focusing on right now, I only took like 2 courses on tax in school. Like literally, I feel like 80 to 90% of my job I learned on the job. Like all the research that I had to do and stuff like that I learned was because I saw something and then I had to literally sometimes Google or sometimes like use like our own archives of like articles and stuff and research on the job and then like, figure
Yeah,
stuff out.
definitely. I think
So maybe that's where he's coming from too, I guess. Like, he worked
that
in
shows you the
it.
work culture of the company you're working in, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's the argument. I read this really good thing that was telling me about stuff like anyone can do a job. I can teach a kid out of high school, hey, how to do coding and how to do this project because I'm the one who's leading it, so I can exactly tell you what to do. But then you are a follower. You're just gonna be what I'm gonna be telling you to do. That's not what you
True.
want. That's why you try to go for people who have education, higher education, because all the
So they can add to it.
yeah, add value to it, right? It's not supposed to be the same value chain. It has to be a person comes in and be like, how can I make the system better? Because that's what you're paying me for, right? Or else you can
Right.
just get anybody from the road and be like, hey, here you go,
Just
learn
train
these,
them.
just train them, and that's good. Well, so yeah,
Yeah.
I'm more go towards the side that education and everything really helps you expand your horizons and
But it should be a
experience.
balance, obviously. You can't
Yeah,
just like come off right off the bat and be like, okay, I'll just do anything. Like
yeah,
people can
definitely.
file taxes on TurboTax. It's going to be that.
Exactly, right.
So, like I feel like like when you're working in a firm, like a public accounting firm, for instance, I feel like one of your main components is supposed to be the consulting part, where you're going to advise them, like the planning, the income planning. So I could be like, paying whatever, like this is just going to go into too much detail, but like, I'll give you a quick example. Like I could put like the same amount of income I'm getting and I'll put it into a trust for my kids and not be taxed on it. Or I could just leave it in my bank account and be taxed on it.
Yeah.
Like it just goes like a person who's off the bat, just like, he just learned to do taxes on TurboTax would not know that, generally speaking.
Yeah,
But
that's
obviously if studied in accounting and he knows consulting, then he can advise the
exactly.
client to like, do this or that type
So
of
are you
thing.
like in the financial
Definitely.
planning business? Are you in the financial planning business? That's what your company works on. I thought you were corporate, maybe corporate
It,
tax.
it's okay. So basically as an associate right now, I am not focusing on any of the fields. I'm doing taxes for international clients. I'm doing it for corporations and partnerships and stuff like that. But I'm also doing individuals. So a lot of the corporates, like the people that own these partnerships and stuff, comes into individuals. So I'm doing their returns also. So I'm kind of
Okay.
doing a span of things right now, like different estates and trusts and stuff like that. So I'm involved in everything. I think in like a year or two, I can focus. I can decide if I want to focus on one thing or the other. I am leaning towards, my family is so intrusive. One
Yeah.
second. What do you want, Mom? She literally opened the door and just did like the Lysol spray, and like now she's gonna go outside again. This is a typical Pakistani household, guys. That's no big deal.
Definitely.
Like sitting in my room, she needs to disinfect me. Like
Yeah,
half, like
happens. Like, hey, you don't know. You miss all of this if you don't have it, right? You miss
that's
all
true
of
too.
it. Yeah.
I would
So
have to be disinfecting myself in the middle of a meeting if I did not have my
exactly. Yeah.
mom. So
Yeah.
she's such an asset. So anyway, so yeah, so I feel like later on in my career, like I was working as an accountant in general too while studying, but I feel like it's obviously different when I'm working full-time associate level type stuff,
Yeah.
So like I'll need to get more experience in it before I can specialize into one or the other. So
All right. All right.
we'll
All
see
right.
where this goes.
Definitely. So now it's all been fun and well with the catching up, with the work life things we do, and now we get
Yeah,
down to the crux of the matter. So lockdown.
exactly.
I think
Mm-hmm.
you told me you've been in lockdown for over a month already, even before
Yes.
New York announced it, something like that,
Yes.
or you did it
Yeah.
while New York announced it. I don't know. So
So I
can
did
you?
it like I think a week and a half before they announced it officially.
Yeah. So how much time has it been for you?
It's been a month actually. It's been like 4 weeks now.
4 weeks.
4.5 weeks actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.5
Yeah.
basically.
It's 5 for me. I'm going strong. Just
Good
dying
for
out
you.
here. Yeah.
I don't
Maybe it's 5 for you as well.
actually
I did it.
I don't know.
I did it on Tuesday,
Hold on.
Tuesday last month. So it's almost about to be 5 weeks in 2 days. So it's going strong, and there's a lot of things that you feel like you could do without, and there's a lot of things you
Mm-hmm.
could feel like you can do with. But overall, it's been going really good for me. What do you say? What about you?
So I started quarantine I think like mid of March. And we started earlier also because my father and my both my parents live with me. But my dad, he's much older and he has like heart issues and stuff like that. So to be proactive with it, I didn't want to be, or none of us didn't, we didn't want to be a carrier and bring it home because directly it might not affect me as much, but I feel like it would definitely affect him a lot more. He recently had a back surgery, like a spine surgery also in December. So we had to be like super, super careful with him. So we started out much earlier. We've been very like, I mean, I feel like generally because like, alhamdulillah, we do recite namaz a lot and stuff like that. So we do wuzu, so we do keep ourselves pretty clean. And generally also, I've always been a very clean freak type of person. I've been the person in the group who always has a sanitizer on them. So
Yeah.
like anywhere we go. So I've always done those things, but I feel like now we're just more mindful of it, that I need to do it more often. So anytime I would go out for a run and I'll come back in, like we leave our shoes at the door anyways, but we've been careful to like even spray those with Lysol or something. And like when I come in, I'll immediately wash my hands after and wash my face and like change my clothes and stuff. So it's just little things which we did, but now we're just so scared of it. We just do it like instantly and we're just more cautious. Like our laundries has been happening so frequently now. Every time I go for a run or something, which is like maybe twice a week, I would say, it's been, or not even a run, even if like it's a walk, like, and or like getting the mail from outside. Oh my God, the mail, it's been crazy. So you bring the boxes inside and you have to spray
Wipe
them.
them out.
You have
Yeah.
to leave, and then you have to wipe them off, and then you have to take all the extra packaging and throw. My mother would not let me keep it in a corner either. I have to throw it out immediately that it comes in, like outside garbage, and then come back inside, spray myself again, wash my hands, and then open my packaging of like what's inside.
Wouldn't
It's a little bit. It's definitely a very extensive process
No,
of
but
getting them in.
wouldn't it be easier for you to take those plastic gloves, go outside, open the packaging outside, everything, and then throw
Okay.
everything already outside and just come back in with your
You need
package?
to remember, this is right now, it's pretty cold outside. So it's like 40 degrees outside. 40 degrees would be, I don't know, convert into Celsius, honey. Like,
I don't know how much is gonna be in Celsius,
it's
but
cold. Okay.
yeah,
It's
but
very
what do
cold
you mean
outside.
by cold? Like it's not negative, it's not freezing.
Okay. I
It's
need to
like
like now transfer because now you're going to be like, it's not as cold.
hey, I'm not
Like
in
40
Pakistan
degrees.
anymore.
I know. You
I'm
should
not in
know what 40
Pakistan.
degrees is. Do they not have
No, everyone
Fahrenheit?
has Celsius around the world except
I
for
know, it's very annoying. Trust me.
all right.
Anyways, so what was I saying? So yeah, so that especially getting the mail part is very annoying.
I understand.
Um, and people in general too, I've noticed, like I feel like I've seen older people even stepping out, but they've been like super like with like the mask and the gloves and everything, because you can only stay indoors for so long. Like I'm not a homebody period, so I'm like not even counting myself, but I'm talking about general people. Like you can't stay indoors only. You need an outlet to go out, get some fresh air. You know,
Oh,
it's been pretty tough.
it's
Don't
debatable.
make that face. What do you
It's
mean?
it's debatable. Like I'm a person who likes staying at home. I have my
Okay.
PS4. I have started cooking. I cook a lot. I just made parathas
Okay,
today
you
in the
that's
morning
true.
again.
Yeah, but you
So
need
I'm
groceries for that, right? So you would have to step out at some point.
yeah, I know. In the sense, there's a difference between going out for essentials and just going out because you're just getting tired of staying at home the whole day. You know?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not considering myself even. I'm just saying because I like to go out in general. So like
Yeah.
that's a little excessive. But I'm talking about normally even. Like you would like to like step out for like a few minutes in the sun, like because staying at home also kind of starts making you feel sick. Like I felt like when there was a week in the middle that was like super busy, I didn't step out for even like a walk. I didn't step out, right? Like that was consistent. I was only in front of my computer. I really felt sick. I
Yeah,
felt like I had a
but
fever and it was
maybe
just crazy. I
isn't
had to be
that
in the sun.
but isn't that because maybe it wasn't you going out, it was just that you were working the whole time? Maybe that just what's annoyed you.
Okay, maybe that's also a component, but this is just the fact that me going outside, and then on Saturday I went out for a run and I immediately felt better. So you can't tell me that it wasn't just
No,
that.
of
Okay,
course. Like, I'm being a hypocrite about this because to be honest, I go out running 3 times a week. All right.
there we go. So you go more than I do. So
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then you
but
feel
that's
better
it's for me the fitness makes me feel better, right? I used to do 5 times a
in
week, but
general.
that's
Yeah,
just
that's
just for
true.
fitness for me. But yeah,
Yeah,
going out does really help. Like it's science, right? You need the sun, and it's so funny. It's really cute how you see white people here when they see the sun. Because I don't know about the US, but about New York per se, but Holland does not get a lot of sun, right? It
oh,
does not.
really?
It's a very wet place, so sun season
Okay.
starts from April till maybe September. So
Okay.
I'm running and I'm seeing people just with their laptops and nothing on, just a shorts and maybe a loose tank top or something, or a shirt for a
And they're
guy.
working.
Not even a guy. A guy doesn't even wear a shirt. So they're just working on their laptops. I see MacBooks in their hands and they're completely like mostly naked, standing sitting on the sun. And I'm like, what is
Just go
this?
sun tanning. You know how important sun is for your body. I feel like you're making fun of it, but I would be the same person. I'll
Exactly.
be
That's what I'm
wearing my
saying. No, but
clothes and sitting outside in the sun in the park. Like I
that's
love.
what I'm saying. I agree with you, but there's a difference, right?
Uh-huh.
There's sun
Yeah.
necessary for you, and there's sun tanning yourself, right? I don't think tanning should be your priority at the moment. It should be
No,
just
no, like not
getting.
tanning. I definitely like sitting. I feel like it's a I would say it's kind of like a privilege if you are able to work virtually or like just on your laptop, like outside. Because I do need like multiple screens to work on. But if like so, there were like a few days where I sat in my balcony, like not even kidding, just sat in my balcony with one computer, which is insane to do work on. But I refused to be indoors. So I was so frustrated that I just wanted to be in the sun. Like I sat there for like a good 3-4 hours and I worked on one screen. I tortured myself, but I was like, the sun and like this Thandi Hava feels just so much like this
No,
air. It
I
feels
think that
so nice.
I, I think the difference is that it's been too many years for you, right? It's only been 1 year for me, Far, because
I think so. You need to
we're
start getting used to it.
Pakistani. Yeah, we're Pakistani. We don't like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sun. We are
Okay, yeah.
tired of the
There's no
sun.
tanning concept. There's
Yeah.
no
No,
concept of tanning in
we
Pakistan,
don't
for
need to
sure.
tan. No, but we don't need to tan. We
We're
can't go
such a
outside.
nice color.
We can't go outside. We're gonna die. It's too warm. It's
Well,
too warm
that's
for
like
us to.
too hot.
It's too
That's too
hot, right?
humid.
So I hate the sun. Here it's too wet and rainy the whole time, and you have no idea how much I love it because we're Bollywood fans. Rain is love season.
Absolutely.
And rain is always
That's
love or romance or
you
cry.
understand it so well when I tell people here, because it's been pouring for the past couple of days. And I'll be like, it's so nice. I want to go out and like, play in the rain. And my colleagues are like, you okay? Like, we
It's
stay
like
like,
you
okay.
smell it, the smell of rain, and
This,
all the
yes,
Arijit
like, the
music comes into
ground,
your
like
mind.
exactly. Like like the plants are much nice and fresh. Like the sand and like the soil is just like this really nice. Like people say it's like dirt, and like no, it's like this fresh smell. Like
Yeah,
your
no one gets
flower is gonna be blooming.
it's musky, it's really nice. It makes you feel good,
Absolutely.
and that's the thing. My colleagues, the same thing as you said about the sun, right? They say give it a
Mhm.
few years. Trust me, you're gonna get tired of the rain because in Holland
I
it rains. I'm not even joking. It rains the whole year round. Only in the summer season you don't
mm,
get the rain. It rains
oh,
24/7.
really.
It just gets annoying for you
I feel
after.
like it rains here a lot too. I feel like here
Yeah.
it pours for like a couple of days and then it would stop. Like and then you would have the sun the next day. I feel like
Or
it rains a lot here too,
no,
for
but
sure.
here the problem is here it rains every day just for a while because that pisses you more
Uh,
because you
I
become
see
that
what you're saying.
the wrong the gullet the wrong wet, like that chipky that sticky wala, right?
Yeah.
Just rains for
Yeah,
10
like it's
minutes and
like
then
moist enough so your clothes are a little soaked, but not really. So like you have that weird uncomfortable feeling. I understand.
exactly. Yeah,
And
moving
it's
on from the
actually true though. I feel like it's actually true though, because when I initially, because we lived in Pakistan for like most of my life. I only
yeah
lived in the States when I was like born like for a year. So that
yeah
doesn't count. So like most of my life was there. And I feel like summers were always like a very like around the year for us. We hardly had any other season, I feel. Like we did have rain, I feel, but not really. So when I initially came here and my cousins and like my friends, they would love tanning and love being in the sun. And I wasn't a big fan of it. I would usually be like, I'll be in the sun, but I'll be in the shade or like I'll be outdoors, but
yeah
I won't be in
it
the sun.
doesn't
But
I
now
don't
it's a little different. Like I've been here for what, 6-7 years now, 6 years. I walk in the sun and I'm perfectly fine with it. And I'm like, if I'm getting tanned along with it, it's fine. I'm not gonna sit specifically to be tanned, but the sun doesn't bother me anymore.
oh
So it
no,
definitely just give it a little while, and
maybe
you'll love it too.
exactly. A friend of mine as well, who I hang out with a lot, she loves it. She loves to do her tanning, and she's like, "Let's walk in the sun." And I'm like, "You're stupid. Doesn't make sense to walk in the sun. Let's just."
You're stupid.
Yeah, what I would do is I would
Such
walk.
a Pakistani thing to
I
do.
would run. I would play football. I would do something. I won't walk in the sun just because I
Okay, but the
can.
thing is, you need to let the sun soak in your skin. Like, like sometimes you need the warmth, like that way, not to
No,
for the purposes of getting tan. Mintu, come on, stop being a typical Pakistani right now with me.
it's
Beta, your skin
I'm not.
color is so good. Why isn't it?
I can't about with the sun, not yet. Maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, we'll have you back on this
Okay, we'll
podcast
come
and
back to this.
yeah,
I'll ask you this question again. Do you
and
like the
we'll
sun
I'll
yet? Or
use like the sun because I do know I can see I can sense the change because right
Mhm.
now it's been a year and now the sun is starting to come out again and I do feel it. I go like, you know what, it's nice. Maybe I should go sit outside and I take a glass of water
There you
and
go.
I go
See?
listen to the whole story. So I go outside,
Oh
I sit,
boy.
I drink a glass of water and I go like, it's burning. I don't like it. What is this? And then I go inside again. So it's just a minute for me and I'm done with my daily quota of the day.
okay, so it's baby steps, not a big deal.
Baby
1 minute right
steps.
now. Let's see 6 months from now. Maybe it's like a few, like a half hour, maybe. Who knows?
I don't know.
Which
I
is,
might
I think
get
half an
burned.
hour in the sun straight is good. But yeah, you and your delicate brown skin is gonna get hurt. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you
Yeah.
never know. This thing, it takes a lot of effort. A lot of moisturizing creams and stuff it makes this happen.
You're
So you need
so
to.
full of shit. Remember what I called you when we were together? Remember in Pakistan we used to call each other something. Well,
Oh,
I used to call you. You did not know
I'm
that.
I'm
But
happily a guy who
who was a
um
kamina?
I like to say a
You
guy
think I
with
would
an
forget?
appropriate sense of self-esteem. That's what I would say.
Oh
An
yeah,
appropriate level.
appropriate. I don't know who is measuring the appropriateness. Definitely not on my scale. It's definitely on your, immeasurable scale.
So
But
yeah,
okay,
going back to the
we'll let you have it.
lockdown. The going back to the lockdown
Yes,
because I think we're
yes. I'm
digressing a
sorry. I
lot.
keep getting
But
distracted a lot.
no, it's okay. It's a lot of fun. This is the general conversation I would love people to hear about. But the lockdown, we
Yes,
heard the work life problems. We heard you
absolutely.
being an outdoorsy person as well. But now to the core problem, right? How are you
Yes,
handling it mentally, and how are you handling it being in a house with a lot of people? Right now, you're four people in the house,
yes.
and it must be
So
you must be getting on each other's nerves. Your mom just walked
so
in with
much.
Lysol. No sense of privacy in a world. So how's that going?
Okay, so there are like a couple of components. I feel like the first, I feel like I did live on my own. So I do have that leverage that I lived on my own for a little bit. So my parents were a little away. And then when they came back, they did try as brown parents to respect my privacy when they initially moved. And then initially we were together. So we had that. But I feel like this time has definitely been the longest ever that I've been home, like at like together and like in each other's space. I feel so there's definitely that there's a lot of like, I feel like the first 2 weeks especially, there was a lot more resentment against each other. There was a lot of like boundaries being set. There was a lot of like now it's become like, you kind of like come into like the mix or routine of things. So now, like before any of my phone calls, like, brown families are super loud in general. I feel that's a general statement, and I'm not even going to take it back because that's true. So they're very loud in general.
True.
So we have a group chat. We have a group chat for family in general on WhatsApp. So before like a big call, like general call, like that's fine. But if it's like a company meeting, or if it's like a meeting which anybody above a manager level, I would message in the chat saying, I'm on a meeting. Everybody please be quiet, like a little like calmer. So, it's like things like that. I feel like it definitely took a while to get into the sync of things, because generally, even I feel like my door's never closed, right? So there is no like sense of
Your door
privacy.
cannot
I
be
mean,
closed in a brown
yeah,
household.
I'm
There's
sorry, I'm not allowed. I'm a girl.
not
I
just
am
a
not
girl,
allowed to
even
close
for
my
a
door.
guy, the
Yeah,
concept of a lock
it
doesn't exist. Okay, the lock was a Western invention made by white people.
it was not made for brown
It
families.
was not made for brown families. It's not
Nor do
true.
they respect it.
Even
Well,
in
now
my
they do that actually.
in my house right now, it's Holland, right? It's Holland, so it's a very European place. My rooms don't have locks, and I'm like, they knew that a brown person was coming to live here because the rooms don't have locks. For some reason, I can't lock my door, and I live alone, so it's
That's
okay. But
it could
still,
be.
it's a lot
It
of
works
fun.
out for you that way.
Maybe it does.
But now, so like now, if the door, like, so my door now stays closed. There's like a general sense that if it's closed, it's because I'm working. So they do understand it, and everybody is like much calmer. There's no, well, can't say no. There's lesser interruptions during my day, because now, instead of my dad yelling from the living room to tell me to make chai for him, I get a text telling
Yeah,
me, "Can you make chai for everybody?" So I feel like our communications are going more virtual than that.
yeah,
So I feel like that's more aspect of us working together. And like now we have our own separate workspace. So I feel like that way it's getting like the confrontations are getting a little bit better.
yeah, yeah,
But
definitely.
in other ways, I feel like we're all going a little less on patience because we are like on top of each other's head all the time. So
Yeah.
yes, a little bit more like, like I'm trying to find a better word.
I know. I can
Getting
see you
out there.
struggling. I can see you trying to not say the wrong thing. If mom accidentally listens to this, if Iraj accidentally listens to this, I don't say anything stupid about it.
um, okay, so you already get where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So in general, our need for attention, or I would say my need for attention, I
Yeah.
really need a lot of attention in general. So I feel like we're getting better at it.
Yeah.
But as far as like I feel like mental health is concerned, in the beginning I was definitely like going through like, because of like going outdoors, I would always feel more fresh and more positive and stuff. I feel like because the first few weeks, I didn't really go out much. Like I only went once or twice. So I kind of started feeling a little down, and having lesser exercise or lesser time to like walk around or something like
Yeah.
that also did affect me a lot. So now I've made it a point that I will definitely, like, without a doubt, I will take a break for lunch, for like, even if it's like 30-minute break, like I will stop my time and then take that break. So I get a mental gap from like work, right? But I've also started like working out at home. Like it's like, it's because the lines of personal life and work life are so blurred. I really like, I feel like setting and giving yourself goals for the day, it really makes a big difference. Like, you know, like having a routine type of thing. So like it initially, because it was such a new thing for me, I was like okay with working in my pajamas. But then I noticed that if I take a shower in the morning and I don't change into pajamas, I change into like casual clothes, not work clothes, but like casual clothes, I'm more productive. So it's just like having a different mindset to it, or like, you know, meditating or like exercising like during the day. Like it definitely like gives me that like it definitely calms my nerves more. Like I
Yeah.
become very anxious at times because work is stressful and everything like that. So like generally we used to like, you know, go out for dinner or something to like calm ourselves down, or like, you know, to just like change our mood. But now since we don't have that, living room is definitely the only spot for
The
dinner.
restaurant, yes. And you can
Yes.
try out something.
And I can try something new. The stove is right there. The stuff is right there. I had the same people I'm having dinner with every day.
You can do
Very
cosplay.
few also.
Do some cosplay. Try to try
My
to.
father will always be a brown dad. Always cracking his brown jokes.
Yeah, definitely.
So I could be a different character every day I want, but
Yeah.
he will be very consistent, which is
Yeah,
commendable.
I know what you mean, but
So
it's been what, 4.5 weeks, 5 weeks for me, and in 5 weeks I've not worn jeans as of yet. Okay, so for
wow.
me it's been I don't like
That's
it, but it depends like what casual clothing is for people. Like for me, casual
that's true.
clothing, I don't consider jeans casual because it's for me they're uncomfortable. What do I do? I have my
Okay, so there's
pajamas
that.
and I have my shorts. So shorts is what I sleep in, pajamas is what I spend the rest of my day in, right?
Okay.
So that's that those two
Okay.
things. So what I do is basically like I was exactly like you. My first 2 days,
Mm,
3 days, I would wake up at my same routine. I had a 3 hour commute, right? Every
right.
day going and coming back. So that was gone. So I
Mhm.
would wake up, run, meditate, do some language courses, do some brain games, then read, and then go to work. Like this is all happening while going to
Okay.
work, the whole brain games and thing, because it's a commute, and then work and then come back and then have dinner and etc. It was a very routine stuff. I tried that 2 3 days. I got bored. I was like, why am I getting up at 8 when my work is at 10? I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. So I stopped with that. Now I wake up at 9:55. I just I put my cap on so they don't see the hair like this. Put my cap on, put a hoodie on,
Absolutely.
and I just go because my meeting is video, right? So they see my face. So I
Yeah.
talk to them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I go like, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing today, etc., etc. They're like, okay, close that, go wash my face, brush my teeth, do my brain games, meditate, do my language courses, everything. Get ready. Now I'm going to go to work. Work till
Yeah.
3. That's my job, and then after that, I go running. I go like, you know what? Screw that morning thing. Now I'm going to do everything in the afternoon because I have the time for it.
But at least you're coming up with a new routine, even if it's like much later in the day. I would still suggest you wake up in the morning and wash your face, please, before video meetings. But like in general,
9:55. 9:55. You can see it
that's
here.
bizarre to me.
You see it
Oh,
here.
come on,
You
Vinci,
see
stop.
the spit, dry spit on your face the whole time.
You
Sometimes
know how
you
many people can see you do be like that, like exactly that.
maybe they do,
Oh, your
maybe they don't,
colleagues.
maybe they do. But
I'm
sometimes my
sure.
colleagues call me and go like, "Are you okay? You seemed a little down in the meeting. You were not
Like, yeah,
talking
I
as
was still
much."
sleeping.
I was like, "Hey, I just woke up 2 minutes ago, so I'm so sorry I couldn't be as talkative as you expected me to be." But I will come
Come
back.
on,
Don't
Missy,
worry.
what are you doing? Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
I feel like it takes a while to get into a routine also. Like, hopefully, I would say you'll get up in the morning and take a shower next
five
time.
weeks. 5 weeks. I'm
Okay.
happy. This is what I am. Sloth. You know?
Oh my God. And then now that's your new routine. It's you've already built a routine now.
Love
Like
it.
there's no
Love
going
it.
back from it.
My colleagues just messaged me saying that, hey, Abdul, because officially there's no lockdown here, right? Uh,
Oh,
like
that's right.
in
Okay.
like officially there is a lockdown. Businesses are closed. Restaurants are only delivering, and any public places are closed. But you're not like other countries around the world. You're not subject to staying inside without any legal repercussions. So people can go out for
Yeah, here I feel
jogging.
like here's the same thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we did was our work is technically open. So our HR manager messaged all of us saying that, hey, we're thinking we would have 2 people from every team come into work, every other team, so that
Oh wow.
you can all stay in the office, have some fun, but have a social distancing measure as well, because we feel like not everyone is really enjoying working at home and everything. And I said, hey, And they said it's not compulsory, only if you're comfortable. I'm like, I'm
Competitor.
not comfortable, I'm so sorry, I'm not comfortable. I feel like corona will still happen if we're still social distance. But the truth is I don't want to wear jeans, and I'm like, as I will savor this for as long as I can. you know I don't mind,
Oh
I'll
my
stay at
God. No,
home.
but see, that doesn't make sense though. I understand that she's saying, or like HR is saying that in the office you'll be 6 feet away from each other, but it's just not possible for you to be commuting all those different phases that you go through during the morning, during the day, and then you're coming in the same space. So even if one person is infected, like by any chance, or if they're carrying it, you can definitely give it to like
Yeah,
literally
I don't like the especially the door is gonna
the
be
concept is
the door is gonna be the same.
exposed.
Everyone needs to open. The button of the elevator is gonna be the same. Whatever needs to open.
Exactly.
The kitchen is what everyone's gonna be using for lunch,
It's going to be used.
for coffee. So there's a lot of. But for me, Corona is not the reason, though. To be honest, it's just the fact that I don't want to wear
For you,
jeans.
it's like the jeans.
Jeans, waking up at 7 instead of 9:55. Not a big fan of it.
No,
I
that's actually true though. Like our company also, they gave us a choice to not come in, but if we wanted to, we could. And when America, like when they officially announced it, that's like I think a few days before that, our company announced officially that it's closed, like office is closed, so
yeah,
you have to work from home. Like you don't have
yeah,
a choice. But I feel like it's so bizarre. Like it's the same for me. For me, it's like an hour and a half one way for me to like, so 3 hour commute for me also every day. To be having to do that and be so stressed out that you might get the disease. Might as well just stay at home. Come
I
on.
stay at
Like
home, dude.
you're working anyways,
If
right?
I had a
Like
family, here, like
mhm,
my friend barely visits me like once a week or something, not more than that, because
okay.
everyone is busy, right? So
Absolutely,
if
yeah.
I had my mom here breathing down my neck, I would be annoyed, but I would be low key really happy as well, because I can see it. I can see my brothers all enjoying basketball together, and they're all like five people in the house. It's so ronak the
That's
whole
true,
time,
yeah.
like
I
rush in the
know.
house, and it's a lot of
Yes.
fun. And you only miss that when you're alone, and you go like, you know
When
what,
you're by
that's a lot of.
yourself, yeah.
Yeah, but then again, I love
I'm
the
not lying
cleanliness.
though. I do complain. I do complain a lot about my mom being here and my sister listening to music, or like I feel like they complain about me more because when I'm working sometimes and I'm not in a meeting, I have my music on really loud because I would rather have my headphones on and they're blasting, but I need to like, keep an eye out for everybody else. So I have my music blasting. Like I have these spurs of seek for attention. I bother my sister. Like I would take like a 10-minute break and I'll just sit on her bed and she's like, I'm in a class, and I'm like, you can close your video and mute yourself and we can talk. So I do complain a lot that it's a big like it's very annoying, but I honestly wouldn't have it any other way because having mom cook for me and like there's a lot of things like I would go crazy living by myself. I'm not joking,
Definitely.
and especially at
It,
a time where I can't like step out at all. Like I
yeah, I
definitely
don't
have
know.
like at home keep
It's a plus and a minus, right? So the plus is
yeah
when I feel like when I'm having dinner and I just have to watch Netflix, and I go like, you know what, I could
yeah
have people around.
people around yeah.
That's a plus I miss. But then the minus is that the thing that I don't miss is the fact that I get up and everything is so quiet, everything is so clean, and I go like, you know what, my house can never be this clean if I had five people here. I'm happy with this. My kitchen is so clean. I love cooking, and for me,
I
for a
know,
person who
yeah.
loves cooking, kitchen needs to be clean. Kitchen cannot be
Mhm.
dirty. It doesn't make sense. So I want the kitchen to be clean, and I know for a fact if families would be here, my kitchen would not be clean. I
Because
cannot be
there's no
clean.
point that you're gonna stop cooking. You're constantly cooking then.
Yeah,
Like
and then
somebody or the other is gonna
oh,
need a snack.
and it's so annoying because especially the youngsters. I don't know about Iraj, but like my younger brother is so annoying that when he starts to cook something, a snack, he makes such a big mess, and I'm like, why the fuck are you making such a big mess? Just do it very appropriate. They're like,
But I
yeah,
feel like yours is
someone,
pretty good with it. Yours is
yeah,
pretty good with it. I'm not even lying. I feel like the best roti that person makes in the house is Iraj.
all
Like
right,
I feel
that's
like
wow.
I low key hype her up and stuff, so she makes it for me. But like in
I
general speaking, though, she's pretty good. She's some ways like better than Kira and everybody also.
oh,
Like her
definitely that's
rotis
that
are like perfectly
good.
like they're perfect thickness. They're not too thin. Kira makes like really thin, big rotis. Yours
Yeah.
makes like a really small, like nice, soft roti.
Oh, that's
I'm
nice. That
hungry already. It's 4:30 and I'm already hungry.
oh yeah, no, it's 10:30 here. We're done with food and everything. We're really happy. But yeah,
Oh, that's
it was amazing to talk to you. I think this concludes whatever we want to talk about. We digressed a lot,
good.
but it's all part of the
I know.
package. And I think the whole point
Absolutely.
of this show is, the whole point of this should be is that everyone gets to listen to who Rida is. and
Oh
what
boy,
Rida
that's
does.
probably not a good way to introduce people. To
I
tell
think
them
it's a
that I
wonderful way to
a lot of
introduce
attention.
people. Yeah. It is a call for attention. It's perfectly fine.
That's fine. You know, a girl needs attention. There's nothing wrong with
Everyone
it.
needs
See?
attention. I need attention, to
Everybody
be
needs attention.
honest. Right?
There we go.
This podcast
See?
is a call for attention, right?
It
That's
is.
the only reason it's happening.
There are words I could call you, but I'll just stick to calling you Mintu and Kamina. Those two are the only ones I'm sticking to.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Rida. It was amazing to talk to you.
Before we
Yeah.
end it,
Yeah.
I want to bring up one thing because I was
Okay.
doing a lot of because yesterday was the second Saturday that I did not work. I've been
Yeah.
working 7 days a week otherwise. I was cleaning and organizing, and you will not believe what I found, like a lot of old stuff, a lot of scrapbooks and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
Ah,
I
that
remember
one.
yes,
Ah,
exactly.
yes.
That's what I found, and I have it right here. And
Oh,
I could
yes.
not. I was reading through all of it, and I was like, "He's such an idiot! I can't believe it." But this is like so memorable. Like I can't believe it.
Hey, I was like I felt like a writer. Okay, this is
You
all I
really
wrote
did. You like
for like
it
10,
was
20
like
people.
a person. I know you wrote one for everybody, and I was looking at the pictures also. I was like,
Yeah.
that's just so many memories just put together. It was just bizarre.
Yeah.
But this was at that time we were just like, he's so extra, he's so cute, like he's trying to like give like a memorable thing, and everybody would lose it. Even I thought I would probably end up losing
Yeah,
it.
most probably everyone did lose it. I think I
But
also
I do
lost it.
like keep all my stuff. Wow. Don't worry,
Yeah,
I'll
but
make another copy of your copy that you gave me, and I'll give it to you.
I think it's all about the fact that I really like, for me, everyone was the reason for my O levels being so good, and my A levels wasn't frankly that good. Like I didn't make that much memories, and then when I went to university, it was a wonderful experience, and I thought the
It was
same
a wonderful
there.
experience.
Yeah, in university I thought the same thing, maybe a scrapbook, but then it was all boys in my university that I had
Do
friends.
that. I really would like to see how that goes down.
Yeah, so that way, if I make a scrapbook, I don't think that would be a really positive outlook on what I wanted to say. So I skipped that. Instead, what I did was I talked to every single one of them one on one and just
There
shared
we
my
go. That's
feelings.
so memorable.
Yeah, and that's what I did. But for listeners who cannot understand what we were talking about, when I was in O levels, like I was in my high school, I made a small scrapbook for all of our group members, and Rida was part of that group. And it was like, it had pictures and a message from me to every single one of them separately on every page, and some pictures of us together, and how basically how I'm gonna miss them, and what made me like be friends with them, and what was the reason we were together, etc., etc. So she apparently found it when she was cleaning, that it came up. Some people do find it, like Ariba also found it like recently. She said she still has it. Emma does not have it. I don't have it. So some people do, and I'm really grateful that you do, Rida. But it's really nice to know. But then again, that's why we're catching up. So that's a good thing, right? So thank you so
No
much
matter
for
the
that.
book or not, I'll still remember you. Thank you so much for actually even asking to catch up, because honestly, everybody's just so busy with life. It's not one or the other. Like, it's not like we're ignoring each other or anything. It's just like life really gets to you sometimes. So catching up like this is just so nice.
Definitely. I think you've put it really well, and that's exactly what I want to do when I text people up. That hey, I feel like your routine's going to be really mundane today, and every other day. So how about just come on a podcast and just talk to me, and maybe
Oh
we
yeah,
can get some break
I'm
from routine.
assuming it's mundane.
Yeah, it's gonna be mundane. Isn't it mundane for you? You're working 17 hours, and you're like,
okay, let's not attack me right now, okay? Be grateful. Let me live and enjoy this time. But I'm taking a break because my screen right now is still open. It's on like away right now, and I'm just gonna walk away from there. So yeah, you can assume that's Monday.
It's a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, even. I think give it a go. Screw it. There's always more work. There's always more work.
Don't work.
That's my mantra since I moved out of Pakistan. That's my mantra for
Oh,
life. There's always gonna be work, but there's never gonna be time for you to live right now, right? So just live, and there's always going to be work.
And his philosophical life lessons.
Koi
What am
rok
I
lo,
gonna do?
koi to rok lo.
Oh my god, I remember that. We used to say that to each other all the time. God.
But yeah, it was really nice catching up with. Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you all for listening. This was day 769, if for all I care. I don't really remember, and I've stopped counting as well for you guys. So I'm really sorry if in my initial episodes you hear me calling day 1, day 2, day 3. I'm done. Whenever I get time, I call people up and I just go like, you know what, let's have a chat. So hopefully when I make my next conversation, I would like to see you or hear you guys there. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.